Hey, hey, hey. Hello, my RCC family. How are you doing on this lovely Wednesday evening? Yes, it is already Wednesday. And, we live in Wisconsin, so it is now the season of the scarf. And if anybody knows me, I absolutely love scarves. Like I have a house full of scarves, so I'm okay with it being the season of the scarf. Guys, as you're coming in, let me know who you are and where you're from, and go ahead and share for me. And if you are watching the replay, go ahead and comment #replay so that we will know that you are coming over to watch us. Again, if you are just coming in, go ahead and let us know who you are, where you're from, and go ahead and share. Okay, so we are in day 3 of our 7-day live challenge. Um, and let me just say something. I did fail to do a recap of day 1 and 2. So I'm going to do that now. So day one, we discussed the what, why, the when, and the where, which was pretty much me telling you a story about, the moment I decided that I was not going to continue to devalue myself and who I am and what I do. And I talked about, one of the young ladies that ended up coming to me for a wedding that she wanted, me to design. And the whole situation just went totally left. And she, started to get very demanding, very rude, very disrespectful. Again, guys, as you're coming in, let me know who you are, where you're from, and go ahead and share. And also, please, please, please let me know if you can hear me. We've been having some issues with social media, so I want to make sure everybody's hearing me. So again, the young lady, um, hi Becca, how you doing? So again, the young lady, she after she had paid her, okay, thank you for letting me know that. So after she had paid, her initial retainer fee or half of the retainer because she didn't pay the entire thing, she just became very rude, very disrespectful with her choice of words. And I'm just going to say that because it was some choice words that she was using. Um, and then, you know, I decided that it was time for me to go ahead and refund her. But I didn't say this in the live that I did on day 1. The reason that I decided to refund her was not because of the choice words that she used, because that didn't bother me. You could say that to me all day, every day. That doesn't bother me because I know who and whose I am. But what she did say to me was, um, why is it costing so much when you're just putting something on the table? Okay, people, event creatives, all of you out there, you all know we don't just put anything on the table. So when she said that to me, it was kind of like, it was a shot at what I do. Like like what are you saying? This is absolutely not what we do. We don't just put things on the table. Um and I know a lot of that comes with education because a lot of people do not know exactly what it takes to do what we do. Until you've actually walked a mile in our shoes, you absolutely do not know what it takes for us to do what we do. So when she said that, it was as if, to say a trained monkey could do what I do. No, that is not how that goes down. So that was my reason for refunding her. It wasn't because that she was using, foul language or whatever it was she was using, because I get that a lot. A lot of us get that if we're out in the customer service field. Hey, is that my son? Hi, son. How are you? Um, but a lot of us get that when we're out in the customer service field. We get, we get some words all the time because people are unhappy with whatever they may be unhappy with. So we're going to get some words. I don't have a problem with that. That I don't have a problem with. But when you devalue what I do and I know I do it well, I absolutely have a problem with that. So that was the reason that, I had and thought about refunding. I refunded her, not thought about it. I refunded her because, at this point, now we're not a good fit. So I'm gonna let you go on your way. I'm gonna go on my way, and then we're gonna be okay. Um, so that was, when I figured out that, I was not gonna plan in this time. That's money. Some don't get that, man. I'm so glad you're doing well, my son, and thank you for coming on my live. But yeah, so that was my reason for refunding her. That was the moment that changed the way I moved. I moved differently from that moment forward because I need people to know what I do and what I do well. You're not going to devalue me for that. Um, and that means I'm only going to work with clients that understand what I do. Okay. And you should also be thinking about that same thing. You do not have to work with everyone. Everyone does not have to work with you. Guys, again, as you're coming in, let me know who you are and where you're from and go ahead and share for me. So yeah, that was the time I decided that I was going to move differently. So that was day one. So day two, what we discussed was how you should be positioning yourself to attract your ideal client. Now, today I was supposed to come on and we were going to get a little deeper into that, but I wanted to go and talk about fear first because I have a special guest that's going to be joining me on tomorrow, and we're going to go over we're going to go over that whole process of attracting your ideal client. So guys, if you're on tonight, make sure you join me on tomorrow night so that we can get into that a little bit deeper. But yeah, day two, so we discussed that, and I let you know how I position myself by making sure that I am at the forefront of everybody's mind. So when anybody's thinking about, event planning, design, or coordination, they are thinking about Royale Classy Creations because I'm going to show up. I might get on some people's nerves, but I do not care. I'm going to make sure Royale Classy Creations is plastered everywhere, okay? In everybody's mind. So I am on all the social media sites. Even if I'm not posting every day, I am on them because every once in a while I'll go in and I'll post something just to let you know that we're still around, we're still doing what we do. And so I'm doing that anytime anybody here is just like Nike. When you hear just do it, you think about Nike, right? So when you hear be royale, be classy, and be creative, I want you to know who we are. Okay. So that is how you position yourself in spaces to let people know that you are still relevant, you are still here, and you are still doing what you do. Okay. Um, okay. So now we are going to go into, now that that's all out of the way. So now we're going to go into our discussion for today. So day three, like I said, I'm going to change it up a bit. We're going to talk about fears. Um, so when you're thinking about everything that you're doing in business, everything that you're trying to do, when you're trying to grow, um, fear tends to rear its ugly head in everything that you do. Guys, again, as you're coming in, let me know who you are and where you're from, and go ahead and share for me. So, especially when it comes to your growth, especially when it comes to, um, finding out who your ideal client is, fear is always going to be, in the forefront. Um, and a lot of times we don't recognize it as fear. A lot of times, we disguise it with something else. We say something else, but in the end, it's all fear. So, why are you pricing to please? Fear. Why are you saying you can't find your ideal client? Fear. Why are you not showing up as your authentic self? Fear. So I'm trying to keep on topic because I know I can get off topic. So y'all make sure I stay on topic. I'll leave that up to Rebecca. So it all boils down to fear. I knew that I could make more money in my business, but I was afraid to do it because I was afraid to see how it would affect my business. So it wasn't until I decided to get uncomfortable that I saw the real growth in my business. Okay. And I noticed today I was in a training, and in that training, this word just kept coming up: uncomfortable, uncomfortable, uncomfortable. And then I go online today on Facebook, just scrolling through social media, and I see this word again. And she said in this post, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Think about that for a minute. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That is a true statement. Because when you stay in a position of comfortability, you can't grow. Because comfortability leads to complacency. Let me say that again. Comfortability leads to complacency. And a lot of us, we are complacent in our jobs. We're complacent in our businesses. We're complacent in everything that we do. We have become complacent. Okay. So now you're in a place of complacency and nothing is changing. Nothing is changing at all. What's the definition of insanity? The definition of insanity, right? You have to get used to being in situations outside of your comfort zone. If you don't, you won't grow. When you're uncomfortable, you grow, you learn. So what is the definition of being of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, do you think anything's going to change? No, not at all. Nothing's going to change. And with most people, fear has its way of entering in and taking over our lives. You have fear of rejection, fear of failure. Those are the two biggest things that halt people in their business today: fear of rejection and fear of failure. And when I tell you, when I made the decision to make a move and do something that was uncomfortable for me, I was able to grow and scale in my business. So let's get comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay. So when I invested in my business this last time, let me tell you, when I looked at the number to invest, I immediately I couldn't breathe. I was like, okay. But I knew I had to do it. I knew I had to if I wanted to change. If I wanted my business to change, I knew I had to. I had to. It wasn't a want, it was a need. It was an absolute need for me to move forward in my business because I knew there were some things that I needed to do that I didn't know how to do, and I had to find someone that was going to help me do it. And that means I had to invest in someone that knew more than I knew about what I was trying to do. Because some of us think that we can go out here on Google University and we can find out everything that we need to know about growing and scaling our business, and we can't. We have to get out of that mindset of doing that, and we have to start thinking about, who do I know, or who is out there that knows what I need so that I can invest and figure this out. Okay. So we have to get out of that place of fear, and we have to get uncomfortable. So what I challenge you all to do is to get uncomfortable in your business. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay? Because if you don't invest in yourself, how do you expect for anyone to invest in you? All right. All right, guys. So that is all I have for tonight. And you guys know what to do. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and comment #replay so that we know that you're watching. And we thank you so much for joining us. We will see you on tomorrow night where we will look at me, where we will start to dig deeper into attracting your ideal client, because it's about attracting your client, positioning yourself to be making sure that you're in a position for your clients to find you, not the other way around. Okay. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me on tonight again. And I'm going to say it. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. All right. As always, be royal, be classy, and be creative. Be creative. Ooh, why am I choked up today? Be royal, be classy, and be creative. I will talk to you soon. Have a good night. Good night, son.